So it's a beautiful, dreary 45-degree day. I'm off on the bike to go see Charlie St. Clair, Executive Director of the Laconia Motorcycle Week Association. Hey, so how you doing? I'm sitting in the old J.J. Newberry store lunch counter, as you can see behind me here, and I'm with Charlie St. Clair. He's the Executive Director of the Laconia Motorcycle Week Association, and we're going to have a little chat about Motorcycle Week and what's been going on. So initially, Charlie, how you doing? Thank you for spending a little time with me.
I'm doing fine. I'm kind of jealous because you rode your motorcycle here to what is now called the Laconia Antique Center. I didn't want people to think we were in an abandoned building here.
Yep. No. No. This is a cool historic building for Laconia, downtown Laconia. So, Laconia Motorcycle Week. I can remember it as a kid. Back in the 60s, it was a little different than it is today. Can you give me just a little history about Laconia Motorcycle Week?
Sure. The first organized gypsy tour to Weirs Beach, to Laconia, was in 1916. And that was with the Federation of American Motorcyclists. And that came up from Massachusetts. And you can, yeah.
Sorry.
So if you go back and think about it, 1916, the road system certainly isn't what we have today.
Right.
So
right.
That was quite a trip. You know,
sure
100
it was.
miles, 150 miles, whatever it was then.
And the motorcycles weren't as comfy as they are today?
Probably not, but nobody had anything to compare them to, so
right.
they were probably pretty
right.
good.
Yep.
So that was a big deal. It was, again, it was an organized gypsy tour, and that was in 16. And then we're up now to 2019. This is our 96th anniversary. We don't use the word annual because we missed several years. And those years that nothing was sanctioned, they don't
right.
count.
Right.
So
yeah.
Some people will say, well, this started in 23. I go, no, it actually started in 16. And some of those years were obviously World War II, so there was no rally from 42 through 45.
Right.
And then there was other years. The last one where there was no sanctioned event was 1975. And that was because the AMA canceled the races at the track that year, so there was no sanctioned event. So that's the difference. And they, that in 75 it was still, then at that time, Motorcycle Weekend. It had been Motorcycle Week up through 65.
Right.
And at 65 there was what a lot of people would call a police riot, and I'm happy to debate that with anybody. And I have the photos to prove it. In any event, after that happened in 65, all the events that took place in Laconia for the week were canceled, and we were left with only the races at the track.
And not to jump in, but I think there's a lot of people that come up here for Motorcycle Week, and one, don't go to the races, and two, aren't even aware that there are races.
Well, I guess you're right. It's kind of in the back of their mind, but they're really cheating themselves. And a lot of those people, they're our local crowd, very important people. We want them here, day trippers we call them. So a lot of those people out here, the usual, oh, there's nothing to do. It's all T-shirts and stuff like that. And my immediate reaction is use your imagination and go out and ride and see things in the state and meet people from all over the world.
Right, right.
So back before 65, it was a much smaller event than it is now because that was, not as many people riding motorcycles then.
Right.
And but again, there were people here from all over the world, especially Canada but all over the states. I
can remember with my folks riding right up through the Weirs during Motorcycle Week in the car.
Yeah. So you're right. So in any event, that we brought back the week in 1991 and started getting all the events back. The hill climb came back at Gunstock in 1993.
Right.
The vintage races all of a sudden appeared. We had flat track racing, which was held at different locations around the state. when Pete Giamavo, who owns Sideways Promotions, passed away.
Right. Yep.
That put an end to that. But this year, in 2019, New Hampshire Speedway built a flat track. So this is going to be open this year. It's right behind the museum there, and we're very, very thrilled about that.
I'm sure that's going to be a big draw.
Well,
I hope it is.
It will be, and yeah, there's a lot of people happy about that. As a matter of fact, when I did a show at the Javits Center back at the beginning of December, I had people come up who had already heard about it on the grapevine, and were questioning me about it and saying, "We're coming up for that."
Nice.
And that's good. And so, yeah, there's so much to do that. If you're coming up and complaining to me, I'm looking at the camera now, so I'm talking to you. If you come and complain about there's nothing to do, I can't help you.
Well, tell us, what are some of the events that are going to happen this year?
Well, there's organized rides almost every day.
Yep.
So you don't have to do those, but if you want, there's, like on Wednesday, there's a very popular covered bridge tour. And we have a couple from Pennsylvania to come up and lead that.
Oh, no kidding.
They've been doing that for a long time. They absolutely love it. And all these rides scare me to death because, I just worry about everybody, So there's that. There's different rides, like the May West Pet Ride is on Monday, and that all the money, there's a lot of money raised. That's put on by Sick Boy Motorcycles. And Doug and his wife, Misty, put that on. They raised, the last few years, they've raised over $10,000 for the local Humane Society here, and so that's really a good thing. Obviously, there's those organized rides up to the Mount Washington.
Ride to the Sky.
Yeah, Ride to the Sky, and on
I've been on that.
Tuesday and Thursday it's motorcycles only.
Yep.
And if you've never done that, I used to always sneer at these cars that had these bumper stickers. This car climbed Mount Washington.
Yeah.
Because I had, in my younger years, had climbed Mount Washington twice. And I said, big deal, you drive your car up there, who cares? But you know what? It's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
It really isn't.
No,
so if you're
it's
not comfortable with heights, don't ride your motorcycle up there. But it's good, though. It's really, it's very exciting, and so other things to do. We've got the passport program, and that is you get your passport stamped. It looks just like a real passport because it's made by the company that makes the United States passports. And you go to all these locations around the state. We have one in Massachusetts this year. We have 3 in Maine. So if you want to actually have a challenge and go out and ride this incredible course of destinations, you get all a number of them stamped, the vast majority of them stamped, and you get a free hooded sweatshirt. And it's not a cheap hooded sweatshirt, it's a nice hooded sweatshirt.
If you have never been to New England on your motorcycle, there are some of the best roads anywhere. And I've ridden all over this country and a few other countries. There is some fantastic motorcycle riding here in New England.
It really is, Jamie. And the thing is that, like when you ride anywhere, you've got to be careful. You've got to watch out for animals. Sorry, but that's just the way it is these days.
Yep.
And obviously, stay away from the center line. We just had another accident where this past weekend, and I'll date this thing, it was May 25th or something like that.
Right.
We're on Scenic Road in Watson Road, which is almost a 90-degree turn.
Yep.
2 guys riding side by side, and on a curve, it's always tricky anyway, and one of the motorcycles drifted across the line and hit a car head on. And so that's what we try to tell people. I know you like to talk to each other, but not a good time of year to be doing that motorcycle.
No, and I guess this safety aspect, this is where I kind of come in, because I am an MSF motorcycle rider coach, have been for 17 years, and rider safety to me is number one. And Charlie spoke about the center line. You think about it, if you're riding close to the center line and your front tire is a foot or two off the center line, think about your motorcycle. That thing is 3 feet wide. So your bars and your pegs conceivably are over the line. And if you're leaning through a corner, you certainly are over the line. So stay away from that center line.
Because that much, an inch can be fatal.
Yep.
So I ride on the center line all the time. You know where I do that? I do that on my way to Sturgis. I do it in Iowa, in South Dakota, where
you
I can see
20 miles
20
down the
miles
road.
ahead, and it's a straight road, and I can even do my figure eights on it if because there's nobody there. Because I go on the back roads and 2-lane roads where everybody else is foolishly on the interstate. That's good. I'm all
Yep.
happy with that.
No, I lived in Rapid City in South Dakota in the mid '70s, and Sturgis was
30 miles.
Oh yeah, but it was
30 miles away.
but it was maybe 40,000 people. Isn't anything
Oh, yeah.
like it is today. So,
Yep,
so how did you get involved in Motorcycle Week?
I grew up in Laconia.
Yeah.
That makes it pretty
Me
easy.
too.
I belonged to the local motorcycle club at the time, the Lakeside Sharks Motorcycle Club, and again, having grown up in Laconia, I saw it when it was Motorcycle Week right up through '65. A very happy motorcycle event.
Yep.
And after that, it became Motorcycle Weekend, and the motorcyclists were not welcome really at all for many, many years. It was just, go away, we don't want you here, and if you do come here, we're going to be pretty miserable to you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that, and that wasn't all businesses, but a lot of people don't even understand, like when Briar Track opened up in Loudon,
Right.
they moved the races there. Keith Briar was a great guy, still is a great guy, but he's gone now, and he got so mad at the city of Laconia that he came to a city council meeting and told them, if you guys keep doing this stuff, I'm going to change the name of the event. And he did. It was called, when it went down to the track, it was called the Laconia Classic. So you
Yep.
still see pins and stuff from back then in the 70s. They'll say Laconia Classic.
Right.
That's where that came from. He got so mad, he took the name Laconia right out and called it the Loudon Classic. And that was how bad it was.
Yep.
But that's all changed. That's all history
Yep.
now. That's gone. And people, if they think that the city of Laconia does not welcome Motorcycle Week, of course not everybody individually likes it, but the city government, and all the other groups that support that,
Right. Right.
are very, very supportive of it.
Yep.
They look forward to it, and that includes the county and the state agencies.
Yep.
So it's realized now how important it is to the economy.
No, it's a very big economic boom.
And it's not just that week. It's
Right.
year-round, because a lot of these people, a lot of them not only come other times of the year, we've had a lot of people actually buy property in New Hampshire because of their exposure to the state. And
Yep.
and a lot of people don't think about that. So getting back to other things to do, there's obviously the POW ride,
Right.
MIA ride. That it's a veterans ride is really what it is, and that's on Thursday night. And we have a hill climb at Gunstock on Wednesday. We also have the hill climb this year on Tuesday on Tower Street at Weirs Beach.
I'm looking forward to that.
And last year
I
it was
am looking forward to that.
just a raving success, and this year we've added an hour to it. So this year it'll go from, I think last year went 11 to 1. This year it's 10 to 1.
Nice.
So it's 3 hours.
And it's going to be a beautiful sunny day too.
I'd knock you off your stool, but
Sorry.
I'm too old. I
Sorry.
never talk about the weather.
I
so
I know.
We just always hope for the best.
Yep.
So there's just so much to do. There's the cruise on the Mount Washington. It's open for Motorcycle Week that Monday. It leaves at 4:30. It's back at 7. So there's still plenty of light out if you need to go somewhere far away.
For those of you that don't know, the Mount Washington is a ship that runs on Lake Winnipesaukee, does a
Big
tour all around the lake. I don't even know, it's 200-ish feet.
It's a big boat.
Yeah, I don't know the exact dimensions, but it travels all around the lake to various towns, stops at the ports there. That's really a must-do if you come up to the lakes region, because you get to see a lot of the area around the lake, obviously. But it's
a beautiful boat.
Yeah, it's a very historic boat that's been here. Boy, again, I don't have all my information, but been here forever.
A long time.
Yep.
And certainly there's so many bars and entertainment complexes. You've got, Tower Hill Tavern, the Big House, which is a new venue where
Right.
Paradise used to be. You've got the market, the marketplace there. They have outside music there. So that's in that one area of Weirs on Lakeside Avenue, and then you go up towards Route 3, US 3, and you've got Laconia Roadhouse has music, and then you can go up the road, and you've got Boot Hill is open this year, and they're going to have music in there, and there's several other places around it that have music venues to go if that's what you want to do. And it's not just here, it's spread out all over the state. Different people are doing stuff. Bentley's up in Maine. The Nazwar's got entertainment. They have their bikini contest on Thursday. We have on Saturday the Peter Macris Memorial Ride, and that ride ends up at the track, and you can take your motorcycles and do a couple stints on the track, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
For all you NASCAR fans, you can ride your motorcycle on the track.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, and that's there's some sharp curves on that.
So to get this correct, it's www.laconiamcweek.com. You can find out all the information that you need to know about Laconia Motorcycle Week. Charlie, this has been really good talking to you. I hope a lot of people. Is there more?
Oh, there's so much more we could talk forever. I wanted to just touch back. You asked me how I got involved in it. So
oh yeah, yeah.
The local club, I was a rider in. So we always felt, in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, how sad it was. It was just motorcycle weekend.
Right.
So I had started going to Sturgis in 1976, was my first year riding out there. And it just pained me terribly to see what Sturgis was doing. And you're right, back in the mid-70s, they were getting around 40,000 people there.
Yeah. Actually, I was there in 76.
So in 1990, it was their 50th anniversary. This is an interesting story. We were camping at Glencoe.
Yep.
And there was a bunch of guys there, obviously, with our club and some other clubs. And we're all hanging out. And there was a reporter that came on into our campsite. And he wanted to just start talking to people. And I said, get him out of here. We don't even know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
So he left, but he came back 2 more times. And I got perplexed as to why this guy was so persistent in coming back into an area where he was asked to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So I asked him, I said, what is it you want to talk about? He said, well, I'm from the Boston Globe, and I'm doing a story comparing what goes on in Sturgis and what goes on in Laconia. And I went, but the minute he said that, the rockets went off. I said, sit right down. Get this man a beer if he wants one.
Yeah,
and so we talked about Laconia and what had happened in '65 and what it was like now. So he wrote a very, very good story, including pictures of all these people there. Yep. And it was in the Sunday Globe. I mean, it was a big story, big story.
Yep.
So Bob Lawton at Fun Spot had given me a call. That came out in September of that year. And he said, what can we do to get Motorcycle League back? And I said, give us a place for rally headquarters. We'll set up a tent, and we'll try to get these events back. We'll have a central location. So it was Fun Spot, the Lakeside Sharks, and the New England Harley-Davidson Dealers Association, and Meredith Harley-Davidson. We got together, and that was 1991.
Right.
And then the next year, the mayor of Laconia, Paul Fitzgerald, we got him a ticket out to Sturgis. And he got out there, and we got him a motorcycle to use. Harley let us use one of their motorcycles. I got him in with the chief of police at Sturgis, and he was so he saw everything they were doing out there, and he was just Paul grew up here, and so he was just like, this can work. We can do this. And I said, of course we can. It's already been done.
Right. Right.
So the city got involved. We brought on more members onto the board of the association. The first year I worked part-time. The second year I applied for the full-time position. There were several other people that applied, and the rest is history. But that's how I got involved in it. And I will tell you, Jamie, that usually I would stick with a job 5 years for full-time as my base job, and go on to something else. And this job never is boring. It's a pain in the ass, quite frankly. It's the pay sucks, if I can say that, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. And I get, on the upside, I get to work with people like you and people that, across the board, that have the same passion for motorcycling. And that's what I like. So when I ride around the country, or when I ride out to Sturgis, or when I do shows to promote Laconia in the state, I get to be with people that I like to be with.
Yep. No, this is important. It's an awesome event for the Lakes region, awesome event for Laconia, the whole state, actually.
Yeah, and our surrounding states, who also benefit a lot from Motorcycle Week, because all these people are riding into the state, whether they're trailering or riding, they're spending money en route and when they leave.
Yes,
and,
they are.
And believe me, I hear that. I hear that from people in Ohio. They say, "Oh yeah, we know when Laconia is coming because we all of a sudden we got all these motorcyclists heading to Laconia, and they're all talking about it."
And again, the riding in New England, Vermont has some tremendous roads. New Hampshire is awesome. Maine, you can ride the coast. Just a great place to come and visit. Thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure, man.
And for those of you, again, it's www.laconiamcweek.com. Check it out, and we'll see you next time.
Stop by Raleigh headquarters.
Stop by Raleigh headquarters. Charlie will be there. He's not doing anything next week.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes I'm there.
you know, it'll be a good time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. Say goodbye, Fitz.